Ladies and gentlemen, we all go through hell sometimes. And when we do, there are three things that will either be your downfall or your superpower. Your mouth, your mood, and your money. Let me tell you something real. Life isn't always fair, and it definitely isn't always easy. But that's not your excuse to lose control. Life can be challenging, and it definitely isn't always easy. But that's not your excuse to lose control. Life can be challenging, and it definitely isn't always easy. But that your mouth can build empires or burn bridges. In your worst moments, speak like you know the storm will pass. Words are power. Don't throw them around when you're mad, tired, or scared. Think, then speak. Because what you say when life is hard will echo when it gets better. Your mood is your energy, and yes, we all break down, but don't unpack and live there. Own your emotions, don't let them own you. Walk into a room, even shattered, with your head high. That's strength. That's grace under pressure. And your money. Oh, don't let it control you. Control it. It's not just about saving or spending. It's about building. Whether you have a lot or a little, be strategic, be disciplined. Invest in things that matter, like growth, skills, and peace of mind. If you control your mouth, your mood, and your money, no hard time can break you. You won't just survive, you'll evolve. So when life pushes you down, remember, you are not a victim of your situation. You are the architect of your response. Your words are your sword, your shield, and sometimes your downfall. When you're going through hard times, when everything feels like it's crumbling, the easiest thing to lose control of is your mouth. It's so tempting to lash out, to vent without thinking, to speak from a place of pain instead of power. But here's the truth. What you say in the dark determines how quickly you'll find your way back to the light. Words don't disappear after you say them. They linger. They root. They build the narrative people believe about you, and the one you begin to believe about yourself. You may think you're just being honest when you're hurting, but there's a line between truth and recklessness. Honesty doesn't mean chaos. You can express without exploding. You can be real without being rude. The words you choose when you're angry, hopeless, or afraid become your identity in the eyes of others, and more dangerously, in your own eyes. If you keep saying, "I'm a failure," eventually you'll start living like one. If you speak defeat over your life, you'll start walking like it's over, even when you still have a long way to go. So in those moments when you're tempted to say something sharp, something low, something just to release the pressure, pause, breathe. Speak like someone who knows this moment will pass. Speak like someone who's already seen the other side, because you are not just reacting to life, you are creating it. With every word that leaves your mouth. Speak like a leader, even when you feel like a mess. That's where real power lives. We are emotional beings, and that's not a flaw. It's a fact. But there's a big difference between feeling something and being ruled by it. Hard times have a way of stirring up every emotion in the book. Fear, anger, frustration, sadness, even guilt. You wake up with a pit in your stomach, your chest tight, your thoughts racing. And it's easy to let those feelings take the wheel, to let your mood dictate your decisions, your tone, your pace, your presence. But here's the thing, when your mood is in control, you're not. And that's dangerous. You can't afford to let temporary emotions make permanent decisions. That argument you have when you're tired, that email you send when you're overwhelmed, that risk you walk away from because you're scared, it's not really you acting, it's your mood. And moods are like the weather, they shift. You don't tear down your house because it's raining outside. You don't cancel your life because one day feels unbearable. Feel it, yes, acknowledge it, but do not act from the storm. Wait for clarity, wait for calm. That doesn't mean pretending everything is fine. It doesn't mean bottling things up and putting on a fake smile. It means learning to sit with the discomfort without letting it sabotage your goals or your relationships. It means mastering the art of being emotionally aware without being emotionally reactive. When you can carry pain without passing it on, when you can keep your head high while your heart is heavy, that's emotional strength. And that's what gets you through the hardest seasons, not just in one piece, but stronger than before. You are not your moods. You are the observer of them. And the moment you remember that, you take your power back. Discipline is not glamorous. It doesn't always look good on the outside, and it definitely doesn't feel good in the moment. But in the chaos of hard times, it's the difference between sinking and surviving. When everything feels out of control, discipline is the anchor that holds you steady. It's easy to default to drama, yelling, blaming, complaining, spiraling. That's the easy route. That's what happens when emotions take over and you stop checking yourself. But let me tell you, the strongest people aren't the loudest in the room. They're the ones who stay focused when everything around them is falling apart. When you choose discipline over drama, you're not denying your feelings. You're refusing to be ruled by them. You're choosing to get up and show up even when you don't feel like it. You're choosing not to send that reckless text, not to make that impulse buy, not to walk away from everything because your pride is bruised. You're choosing to respond with purpose instead of reacting out of pain. And that choice, that's what builds self-respect. That's what builds trust with yourself and with the people around you. It takes maturity to pause when everything in you wants to explode. It takes strength to stay silent when speaking might do more harm than good. And it takes courage to stay committed to the bigger picture when the present moment feels unbearable. That's what discipline looks like. Small, invisible victories that no one applauds, but that change the entire trajectory of your life. People think survival during hard times is about being tough. No, it's about being consistent. It's about choosing your values over your moods. It's about being so committed to your future that you don't let temporary chaos drag you into permanent mistakes. Discipline is quiet. It's not dramatic, but it's powerful. And when the dust settles, it's the disciplined ones who are still standing. Money isn't just numbers in your bank account. It's a mirror of how you think, how you feel, and how you see the world. In hard times, money reveals your deepest beliefs about security, worth, and survival. You can tell yourself you're calm, you're grounded, you're in control, but how you handle money when things fall apart will tell the real story. Do you panic and spend to feel better? Do you freeze and do nothing? Do you start chasing quick fixes or short-term thrills, hoping it'll distract you from the stress? That's not financial management. That's emotional management disguised as spending. The truth is, controlling your money isn't just about having a budget or tracking your expenses. It's about having the mindset of a builder, not a reactor. It's about understanding that even if you don't have much right now, what you do with it still matters. It's about refusing to believe that your value is tied to your income or that wealth is only about luxury. Real wealth is about stability. It's about options. It's about freedom. And the way you treat your money in your worst seasons determines how quickly you'll rise in your best ones. When things get hard, that's when most people let go of discipline. They tell themselves it doesn't matter and they spiral, eating out more, buying things they don't need, avoiding bills, racking up debt, trying to numb the discomfort with a dopamine hit. But money, like anything, responds to intention. It doesn't care how much you have. It cares what you do with it. Even in scarcity, you can lead with clarity. You can choose to track what's coming in and what's going out. You can choose to pause before every transaction and ask, is this survival or is this escape? Financial control during difficult times isn't about being perfect. It's about being conscious. It's about making decisions that reflect the future you want, not the stress you're feeling. You don't need to be rich to be financially powerful. You just need to stop letting fear make your choices. Because money isn't just a tool, it's a test. And when you can handle it with wisdom in the storm, you'll be ready to multiply it when the sky's clear. In hard times, it's easy to be fooled by appearance. To think that if you can just look okay, if you can wear the right clothes, drive the right car, post the right photos, then maybe, just maybe, the chaos on the inside won't matter. But that's the biggest lie we tell ourselves. When life feels unstable, many people run to appearances for comfort. They spend money they don't have, chase validation from people who don't matter, and perform confidence instead of building it. But pretending isn't progress. An image without foundation will always collapse under pressure. In the toughest seasons, what you invest in will either carry you forward or hold you back. If you keep prioritizing how things look over how things are, you'll stay stuck. This is the time to pull back, to focus on what's real: skills, knowledge, discipline, mental health, physical well-being. These are the investments that don't shine on social media, but pay you back in peace, in resilience, and in real power. Buying something new might give you a rush for a moment, but mastering something new will give you strength for a lifetime. There's nothing wrong with wanting nice things or wanting to feel good, but when hard times hit, your priorities have to shift. Instead of chasing applause, chase growth. Instead of trying to impress people, try to improve yourself. Because when the lights are off, when the audience is gone, and it's just you and your reflection, what you've built inside is what will save you, not the image you showed the world. Growth doesn't always look pretty. Sometimes it looks like late nights of learning, quiet mornings of reflection, and saying no to things that used to excite you. It looks like setting boundaries, making sacrifices, and being okay with not being seen. for now. Because eventually the results of that inner work will speak louder than any outfit, any car, any post. And when the hard times pass, and they will, you'll emerge not just looking strong, but actually being strong. That's the difference. That's the when your reaction during hard times becomes your reputation, not just to the world, but to yourself. People may forget what caused the storm, but they will remember how you showed up in it, and so will you. Every time you choose composure over chaos, you teach yourself that you are someone who can be trusted, even when everything else is uncertain. Your reaction becomes a quiet declaration of your character. It says, "This situation is tough, but I'm tougher." In moments of crisis, you're not just managing a problem, you're shaping your identity. Are you the person who lashes out when things don't go your way? Are you the person who collapses at the first sign of pressure? Or are you the person who breathes through the storm? Who chooses clarity over rage? Who holds the line while everything tries to break you? That choice becomes your legacy, not just in your own mind, but in every relationship, every opportunity, every room you walk into afterward. And let's be honest, people are watching, not in a judgmental way, but in a human way. They're watching how you handle the pressure. They're paying attention to whether you stay kind when you're under stress, whether you stay focused when life gets unfair, whether you honor your word when it would be easier to walk away. Because those are the moments that separate temporary power from lasting influence. Anyone can smile when life is easy, but grace under fire? That's rare. That's respected. And beyond how others see you, it's how you begin to see yourself. You start realizing you're not a product of circumstances, you're a product of choices. You begin to walk with a different kind of confidence, not because life is perfect, but because you didn't let the imperfection break your values. You didn't trade your integrity for a quick release. You didn't sacrifice your future just to feel right in the moment. You stayed rooted, and that self-trust, that's unshakable. So let the hard times come. Let them test you, shake you, even stretch you. But don't let them define you. Because when you learn to control your mouth, your mood, and your money, you're not just surviving. You're leading yourself through the fire with purpose. You don't need perfect circumstances to rise. You need discipline, clarity, and courage. And those things aren't given. They're built. Moment by moment, choice by choice. So the next time life tries to break you, remember, you've already got the tools. Speak like a leader, feel like a warrior, build like a visionary, because the storm isn't your end, it's just your beginning. Own it, grow through it, and come out on the other side not only stronger, but unstoppable. Thank you.